Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? It's Matt here from YoVideogames. This week saw some major new NX rumors come out from Eurogamer. Now, if you know me, then you know I don't usually like to make a video every time a rumor pops up somewhere. So what makes this one different? Mainly that these rumors have been backed up by a number of other industry and press outlets, and that they quite honestly are not that far-fetched. So let's just go over what was either leaked or rumored. The console is primarily a portable, however its gimmick is that it can not only dock with a base unit to connect to a TV, but that it has detachable sides that functions as controllers for on-the-go multiplayer. Because it is primarily a portable system, it will use cartridge-based physical media. This is something many of us have talked about, including ours truly, on our podcast, which you can find under YoVideogames on iTunes, Stitcher, and Libsyn. The cartridges themselves are said to start at 32 gigabytes, which is a little more than a single-layer Blu-ray disc. Lastly, the system is ditching Nintendo's long-standing partnership with AMD and is instead going with NVIDIA and will be based around its Tegra X1 architecture, which is basically a beefy mobile graphics chip and falls in line with the system being portable. Eurogamer also pegged its official unveiling for September, and I would guess that it's going to be after PAX and either the week before or after TGS. So with all that out of the way, what do I think of all this? Well, personally speaking, I think it sounds like a portable system that is going to have a horrendous battery life. I'm not sure what the NVIDIA Shield or other devices that use Tegra chips battery life is like, but considering the 3DS and especially the Wii U gamepad, I find that immediately worrying. The cartridge-based media is completely fine as far as I'm concerned. They have long caught up with optical media storage-wise, and I see no problems with this. As for the detachable sides, this is probably the most outlandish part, but could very well be the gimmick that Nintendo is riding hard on. Backing it up even further, this does fall a lot in line with what Nintendo had been telling investors. Before his passing, Iwata made it very clear that portable and console gaming divisions within Nintendo were being merged into one unit going forward. The NX is coming together as something very early speculation seemed to point to, and that was forgotten a bit. And that is not only were development teams being combined, but so was the hardware. Nintendo is basically becoming a single hardware company, and it's siding with portable instead of home console. Now, a big question many Western gaming fans may be asking is, why? The answer to that is as I've always said. Nintendo thinks and acts on the Japanese market and assumes the rest of the world will follow suit. During the last two console generations, it was portable gaming that dominated over home consoles in Japan. PSP and DS saw the lion's share of sales and attention during the PS3 and 360 era. The Wii was a bit of an anomaly to be sure, but the DS still outsold it. And now the 3DS is far outselling the Wii U and PS4 in Japan. More than just portable dominating, Japan is booming on the mobile gaming front. Smartphones have almost completely taken over, and companies such as Sega, Capcom, Square Enix, and Konami have particularly thrived on the mobile market. When you see videos of over 1,000 people flocking to a park at night because of a false rumor to catch a Mewtwo in Pokemon Go, you can understand why Nintendo wants to go in this direction. But Nintendo is not content to share its wealth. Nintendo doesn't want to just own and develop the mobile titles it makes, it wants to own the hardware as well. The NX is there to move and ensnare the mobile market, but there's one big catch. Without mobile network coverage, much of what makes titles like Pokemon Go a success is lost. Ad hoc multiplayer works well enough on a crowded subway system, but for the rest of the world, people are not so easy to find and set up a game with. The detachable controller ports are likely Nintendo's answer to playing with people on the go, but much like asymmetric multiplayer, it's probably a feature that just isn't as interesting as they assume it is. Multiplayer portable gaming with one unit would have been mind-blowing in the early 90s, but the battle Nintendo is facing now is getting anyone off their phones. They may also be battling themselves with Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing Mobile, as even big titles like Zelda Breath of the Wild may not be enough for people to put their phones down. Therein lies the largest hurdle. No matter how big or small the NX might be, can Nintendo convince people to buy and carry around another portable device when their phone already provides gaming, social, and business applications in one single-handed device? As for the rest of the world, it really does seem like Nintendo is basically exiting out of the game market and basically trying to create its own little world where you have your Nintendo device. The Tegra is a nice processor for portables, however, as Digital Foundry has pointed out, this thing won't be outperforming anything on the current X-Bone, and by the time the Neo and Scorpio roll around next year, Nintendo will be even further outclassed. Coupled with the fact that this is not x86 architecture and that the portable machines tend to do even worse for third parties in the West, and I can see support for the NX dropped in the West faster than the Wii U. Reality is a cruel mistress, and the majority of the world enjoys their home theater experiences on PS4 and gaming PCs. Most of us are more than content to use our smartphones for on-the-go gaming, and adding another beefy portable console isn't likely to attract people outside the Nintendo fanbase. Hardware and software sales will have to remain very high throughout all of 2017 for third parties to care to support it, and I'm talking about real support, not just dance. In the end, I will be getting an NX, mostly on the hope of a more polished and pretty version of Zelda and the obvious other Nintendo releases. While it will be more powerful than the Wii U, I don't expect to see much in third-party effort, and what will be released is guaranteed to be downgraded ports. I think the NX will be a very tough sell in Western markets, especially since the 3DS is doing alright on its own, even if it has plateaued a bit. Similar to Japan, the use and need for a portable machine has greatly diminished with the arrival of smartphones, even if there are people like me who hate mobile gaming. Despite the fact that all of Nintendo is now focused on one single piece of hardware, if the NX repeats the failure of the Wii U while the rest of their mobile lineup succeeds, there will be zero reason for Nintendo to stay in the hardware race, and I sadly think Nintendo has made it harder for themselves to succeed by once again desperately trying to court only the Japanese market. Time will tell, but I'm not really feeling it this time for Nintendo. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the channel. Later, dudes!